Hello and all welcome to the Sweet Spot, your go-to golf tipping show brought to you by the Racing Post. It's Jack Reeve, it's Steve Palmer with a busy show for you today. 3 tournaments to look back on, 3 to preview, including a seniors major. Always good to check out what's going on over there. Steve, I think you're going to be softly spoken for the majority of this show, aren't you? Talk us through why.
Well, yes, this is the first Sweet Spot with Coco the dog in the shed. There's no other option today, so she is sleeping behind me. But once she gets into a sleep, she's usually zonked out for the duration, so I shouldn't have a problem. And I've got the shed really hot. It's like a proper sauna today. Lots of people say it looks like a sauna. It feels like a sauna today, because the hotter it is, the more chance she stays asleep.
Well, that's what we discussed last week, one of those old wives' tales, isn't it? Because you're suffering with a little bit of tonsillitis, and I've always been told if you're feeling a bit ill, just sweat it out. I'm not sure if it works, but you can try it today. Yeah,
it does work. It does work. Yeah, I like proper saunas. I like going into saunas, and then if there's people in there, like total strangers in there, you can really freak them out by saying, "Oh, it's like a sauna in here." That's one of my favourite sort of things to do in life. But yeah, hopefully the dog stays asleep.
Absolutely. Before we get into the action today, a big thanks to AK Bets, who are the sponsor of Sweet Spot. I'm sure you all know about them by now, but if not, you can pick yourself up a lovely little offer. You can place your first bet on a golf tournament, and if your player misses the cut, you get 50% of your stake back as a free bet up to 50 quid. That's on screen now. The code is SweetSpot50. Big prices, big limits with AK Bets. We'll be reading their prices throughout the show. Steve, let's take a look back then at last week's events. It was a mammoth week, and it was a brutal week as well. Let's start with Liv. It was won by Brooks Koepka. This is a man who's warming up for the USPGA very nicely.
Oh, we're massively on Brooks' watch now, but yeah, it was a really disappointing week. We were talking before coming on about Ronnie O'Sullivan, weren't we? I mean, Ronnie O'Sullivan losing in the snooker.
That was a Wednesday, wasn't it?
That was the Wednesday. That was the Wednesday night.
This is an uphill battle from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I was ill as well, and Ronnie going out was a real blow for morale. And then we needed the golf to be good. And aside from Byong Hunan's great final round, he was the only golfer we managed to get placed. It was a disappointing week all round. I even backed that horse. Did you watch the 1,000 guineas on Sunday?
Yes, yeah.
I was even on the horse that went miles clear, the Ramatue.
Yes.
And got done on the line. So I feel like Lady Luck is really turning the screw on me at the moment. But things will change this week. But yeah, Live Golf Singapore. Brooks Koepka, 16-1 last week. He was in poor form. He said he was embarrassed at the Masters. He found the Masters an embarrassing experience, Jack. He finished 45th in the Masters. This is Mr. Majors, isn't it? 45th at Augusta. He said it was embarrassing. So then his reaction to that has been to really knuckle down on the practice range. He finished Live Adelaide strongly, finished 9th in Live Adelaide. Last 2 rounds were great. And then he dominated last week in Singapore. So, Koepka has switched himself on for major season, it seems, like he so often does. We know what a huge danger man he is in the USPGA. He's won that 3 times. US Open, he's won that twice. So, I think the other members of the golfing elite were really disappointed to see Koepka suddenly burst into life.
Well, I was as well, because Brooks is one of those players. You mentioned they're 16-1. He is one of those players where if he goes off and wins, you just go, oh, how on earth have I missed that? And, it happens so often. And, I rarely back Brooks, but, when he does go on and win, you just go, oh, that was such an easy one to spot.
Well, you shouldn't beat yourself up last week because he was in dire form. But, he just has this knack, doesn't he, of switching on for the majors season. And, defending champion for the USPGA, massive runner in the next 2 majors.
Absolutely. There you go. Let's Live Golf. I'm sure we'll talk about Live in the coming weeks, but that's enough for now.
Well, you might want to talk about John Rahm. I'm sorry to interject, but
are we having a John Rahm battering again, are we?
Well, no, we must mention how poor he was again. People think I'm picking on John Rahm, but it's important to mention because in all of these major markets, he is so prominent in the betting. And again, dire last week, finished in 10th place, 6 shots behind Koepka. never really in it, made a slow start, remains a live maiden. So he's going to be a live maiden going into the next major. The next live event is Live Houston in the second week of June. So, how long will Rahm remain a live maiden? Yeah, it must be really annoying him now.
Absolutely. Any more for live?
No. Sorry to interject there. I felt it important because we are deep in major season now. Lots of people like getting all their bets planned out for the next 3 majors, and Rahm, I can't have Rahm on my mind for anything.
No, bang on. China Open. Should we go over to China? It was won by Adrian Otaegui. I think it's his 5th DP World Tour victory. Sebastian Soderberg going close once again. His form figures in recent weeks 2-2-3, but can't get over the line.
Yeah.
Are we getting to the point now, Steve, where we say thanks, but no thanks to Tom McKibbin? I'm still seeing him in my dreams.
I thought you were going to say thanks, but no thanks to the DP World Tour because, it's just last week's China Open was just rubbish. Absolutely rubbish tournament, ravished by bad weather. Saturday's play totally wiped out. I woke up on Saturday morning. All my players made the cut, and I was really looking forward to moving day. And then, nobody moved at all. 54 holes of tedium. I thought it was one of the most boring tournaments ever, and it was won by one of the most boring players in the world. I mean, Adrian.
That's harsh. He's not that boring, is he?
He's slow. He's a plodder. He's got an ugly putting stroke, borderline yips. Adrian Otaegui. I feel like that China Open got the champion it deserved. It was, I don't want to be too downbeat, but I just thought that was an appalling golf tournament. And Adrian Otaegui, it wasn't easy to find. 35-1 winner. I have no regrets about leaving that one alone.
No, poor old Adrian. He's just won his tournament and tuning into the sweet spot. He's been called the most boring bloke on earth.
Don't forget he was a live defector for a bit as well, wasn't he?
That's true.
He's caught me. He's caught me on an ebb tide.
Where are we at with Mr. McKibbin? Because he is a sweet spot favourite, and God love him. We do have a lot of time for him, but
he wasn't far behind in the end.
No, I know.
Where did he finish? On a 23rd, was it? In a 72-hole event, he probably would have been another backdoor top 10 for the lad, wouldn't it? No, don't give up on Tom McKibbin. Don't you dare give up on Tom McKibbin. No, he'll come good.
Okay. Faith with Tom McKibbin. The CJ Cup Byron Nelson. Let's move on from the China Open. That was a damning review of that. CJ Cup Byron Nelson, that I was getting all confused about last week, thinking it was the CJ Cup, or was it the Byron Nelson, or we don't really know what it was. What we do know it was won by Taylor Pendrith. It was 90-1 pre-tournament, held off a stacked field. Actually, I mean, this was an exciting tournament, Steve, and there was a I'm not sure what that facial expression was, but you disagree.
My tonsils are still not in good condition. That facial expression probably had more to do with them than anything else. But I thought Taylor Pendrith rode his luck on the front nine. There was a couple of shots he got away with. He holed a bunker shot. There was another shot before that perched on the edge of the green. If it rolled back, it would have been a disastrous double bogey. So I thought he was fortunate. Then he needed a lot of help from Ben Coles on the final hole, of course. Ben Coles had a one-shot lead going up the last. Pendrith, I don't know. I think he's a clumsy player, and he strikes me as he's too clumsy for me these days. But it's a massive monkey to get off your back, and it made him PGA Tour title. Maybe Pendrith would go from strength to strength, but no, it wasn't the most impressive victory I've ever seen. And Ben Coles, I mean, he was about 400-1 last week. Ben Coles, great effort from him to get in front of Pendrith and Jake Knapp. Pendrith and Knapp were miles ahead of him off every tee. Cole's not a big hitter. Such a defiant performance from Coles. I was impressed with him. 4-time Corn Ferry Tour champion. Just went all wrong on the last, but he took the positives from that. That runner-up check is a big one for him.
I quizzed you on Jordan Spieth last week because I think he was favourite, wasn't he? And you were like, no love for Jordan Spieth whatsoever. I think there was love out there for him, as I guess there always is with these top players, but disappointing again.
Yeah, fitness issues, form issues. He's got some strange problem with his wrist where a tendon just pops out, and he says he just pops it back in now. He's talking as if there's no surgery that can resolve this. which surprises me because you think the surgeons could get to work on that and sort it out. But he seems to be happy continuing with his career with a tendon in his wrist that pops out and then he just pops it back in and it hurts for sort of 24 hours or so. But
that's not very sustainable, is it?
No, it's really off-putting for me. If you know there's a player there that's going to have potentially 24 hours of pain in a golf tournament at any moment, then Spieth is nowhere near my plans. And of course, USPGA coming up. Yeah, we get our knickers in a twist about Rory McIlroy before the Masters, don't we? Career Grand Slam. It always seems to get forgotten that Jordan Spieth is a USPGA win away from the Slam. So he must be going into this one pretty downbeat.
Okay, that was last week's events. It was a tough one, Steve, wasn't it? It really was. I mean, as you say, we wouldn't have picked out a Taggy or Taylor Pendrith, Koepka, maybe.
No, it was a tough one. No, I don't think you could have won a lot last week. Anyone who did, I really doff caps.
Absolutely. Well, brighter days ahead. The only way is up. 3 tournaments this week. Shall we start with the Wells Fargo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, chronological order. I'm learning. It's only taken me 18 months.
Well, this is a really tough one. I mean, they're all going off very similar times, but you have nailed it.
Thank you. Quail Hollow, talk us through the track.
Quail Hollow Club, Charlotte, North Carolina, 7,558 yards. We're a little bit longer this year. Par 71, 3 par 5s. Quail Hollow hosted the USPGA Championship in 2017, the President's Cup in 2022. They are the only 2 years where, since 2003, that this course has not staged the Wells Fargo. So we've got loads of course form. It's a ball strikers course, long tree-lined holes. Thursday will be a bit breezy, calm from Friday onwards. We've got a field of 69 going to post now. Ludwig Aubert, a sensational withdrawal last night. No cut, elevated, designated signature event, 20 million in the prize pot, 3.6 million to the winner.
Lovely job. Let's take a look at the top of the market with AK Bets. Rory McIlroy is your 15-2 favourite. Xander Schauffele 10-1. Wyndham Clark 16s. Patrick Cantlay 18-1. Max Homer 22s. Colin Morikawa 25-1. Bigger prices the rest. Top prices with AK Bets. No Scotty Scheffler this week. Wyndham Clark won here last year. How many selections for the Wells Fargo, Steve?
2.
Excellent. And who is the main one?
Rory McIlroy, 15-2 with AK Bets, who can take over on the USPGA Tour. The USPGA Tour, that is a new one, isn't it? He can take over on the USPGA Tour in the absence of Scotty Scheffler and Ludwig Aubert. I think McIlroy must be so relieved to see those two go. I mean, Ludwig Aubert stunned punters last night by withdrawing from this. A knee injury, citing a knee injury.
Oh, no.
Big concern for the Aubert camp. Scheffler, of course, awaiting the birth of his first child. Meredith still hasn't released the
Still not here.
No. The Scheffler kid has not arrived yet. So Scheffler is off for the foreseeable. Aubert has got some issue with his knee. McIlroy, when he boarded his private jet yesterday to come to one of his favourite golf courses, if not his favourite golf course, must be absolutely buzzing. I see it as Scheffler was the king of spring, as he so often is. Bruce calls him the crocus, doesn't he? Scheffler's the king of spring this year. I sense this is McIlroy's May. And then we'll come on to Johnson's June. I'm getting very excited about our major, Zach. You're going to have to contain me here because it's looking.
We need another J for July.
We're struggling.
We'll work on that when we get there.
We're on Xander Schauffele for the Open. I haven't quite worked out how to get alliteration into that, but Scheffler won the Masters. McIlroy is turning up a gear in time for the USPGA. Johnson finished 7th in Live Singapore last week. Finished strongly. I think the bookmaking industry will be in ruins by the end of July when our major Zaka wins. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
So what you're essentially saying is if we boil all of that down, we're going to be rich at the end of the summer. Yeah,
I think so. And I think the bookmaking industry will be in ruins, but we won't care because we'll have enough money to live for the rest of our lives.
Absolutely.
I suppose we should take each week as it comes. And this week, McIlroy, in my eyes, warms up for next week's USPGA with a morale-boosting victory at his beloved Quail Hollow. The last time McIlroy won the USPGA was at Valhalla in 2014, and and he won the preceding week's PGA Tour event, the Bridgestone Invitational. I think McIlroy must be sensing history is about to repeat itself. I think he would love to win this week, go to Valhalla with the same vibes of 2014. We're back at Valhalla next week. I think the way Scheffler and Aubert have departed the scene, is just a dreamy scenario for Rory. This is a golden opportunity to end this long major winning drought. He hasn't won a major since the 2014 USPGA. I think he's going to win this week. I think he might win next week. Quail Hollow is a playground for Rory McIlroy. He's won 3 of the last 11 Wells Fargos at this course. 3 of the last 11 editions of the Quail Hollow event. His maiden PGA Tour title came here in 2010. He won by 7 shots in 2015. He won again in 2021. And this time he's arrived with his tail up, hasn't he? He played really well. He played really well in the Zurich Classic. Yeah. Shane Lowry was so thrilled to get Rory as a partner. And Rory did what Shane was expecting him to do. Rory was the main man in that partnership. It really helped Shane Lowry, because Shane Lowry, I didn't realise, but Shane Lowry ended up qualifying for events that he wasn't even in, like signature events he wasn't in because of that win. So Rory really helped Shane out. And it's like positive vibes just flowing through the pair of them. They had such a fun week. And McIlroy also played well in the Texas Open the week before the Masters. Easy to forget that. Finished 3rd in the Texas Open the week before the Masters. And then in the Masters, nobody's under more pressure than him. Nobody in the field's under more pressure than him at Augusta. He finished 22nd. Not really a bad effort with that much weight on your shoulders. The course this week, playing long and soft. We've had loads of rain. It just looks set up perfectly for McIlroy May to start in style.
It's going to be a delight. Rory McIlroy 15-2 with AK bets to go and win the Wells Fargo this week. One more for this. Who is it?
Yes, my backup is Maxwell Homer, 22-1 with AK bets, who relishes Quail Hollow as well. It's the scene of his maiden PGA Tour title in 2019. He was a 3-shot victory. He was ranked 417th in the world when he won at Quail Hollow in 2019. He won the 2022 Wells Fargo at a different course. He excelled in the 2022 President's Cup at Quail Hollow. Do you remember that one? Yeah. That was Homer's first time representing America. He won 4 points from 4 matches, and then he was 8th in last year's Wells Fargo. So Homer, massively course proven, like McIlroy, is typically stellar iron play, shows up well here. This time he tees up as world number 10. So he won this as world number 417. Now he's teeing up as world number 10 this week. And the confidence he gained from the Masters, that was the first time he contended in a major. Everyone was waiting for Homer to contend in a major. He's a big time player now, and he delivered at Augusta, finished 3rd. Loads of positives to take from that. He was exhausted for the RBC Heritage the following week. Don't worry about that. He's refreshed for this. I think this is a McIlroy v Homer contest.
We're talking about that pairs win for Rory and Shane Lowry. What would be your dream foursomes partner? What would you need? It doesn't even have to be a person, but what characteristics would they need to show? Not even necessarily ball striking ability. What kind of mental attributes do they need to bring?
I suppose positivity. I can get dragged down easily on a golf course, particularly with my injuries that I developed in my 40s. So I need positivity and massage skills. Someone with a good brain and a good hands.
Okay.
Happy hands is what I would
happy
say.
Hands. Happy hands. I loved. There was an interview with Padre Harrington the other week, and he said he loved playing with Tiger Woods because he never spoke to him on the course and would only say "good shot," Padre, when it was a good shot. He said, "There's nothing that I'd hate more than when someone says, 'Oh, good shot, Paddy,' and it's like, he deems it not good enough." And I think that happens in foursomes a lot.
Yeah, it does. Well, it can. Yeah, my dad is so positive on the golf course. Because I've had problems in the past with my attitude on the golf course. I'm much better these days.
Are you a club thrower or?
In my distant past. Yeah,
okay.
I'm much calmer now. I realise it doesn't really matter. But my dad was always very positive, and if I hit anything, if I got it airborne, he'd be very keen to explain it was a good shot to try and make instill happiness in me. I feel sorry for my dad. He went through some difficult times on the golf course when I was a headstrong youngster. But I'm much calmer now, and he doesn't need to do that so much.
Excellent. I must just compliment your jumper as well. When you've lifted your arms, that's a proper sort of golf design, isn't it?
Oh, it's glorious. Yeah.
What's the logo?
Royal Dublin.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Because
Royal
it looks
Dublin.
like just a generic jumper from the top, and then you lifted your arms, and it was a delightful sort of pattern.
Yeah, look, it's got the classic golfing.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, that's Royal Dublin. That's when I played with Rory McIlroy. I had a round with Rory McIlroy at Royal Dublin. Don't like to talk about it. Don't like the name drop. Don't like to talk about it. But yeah, I had a round with Rory McIlroy, and then we went on a night out in Dublin, had dinner in Dublin Town Centre. He was world number 7 or world number 9 at the time, so not quite as famous as he is now. But obviously, when we were out in Dublin, I obviously had more people come out to me for autographs.
Of course, yeah.
And then he had a couple of people come up for him for autographs, and we had a nice dinner and whatnot.
Well, it's lovely. You take time for your fans, Steve, and Rory is exactly that. Any other notable mentions in the Wells Fargo? I mean, as you say, Ludwig and Scotty weakens the top of the market, but Jander, Wyndham, Clark, can't they?
I thought Adam Scott was tempting. We were on Adam Scott last week. He's just playing really solid golf, and he's got a good record at Quail Hollow. So if you wanted one more, I'd go with Adam Scott, but no one else remotely interests me.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. Let's move over to another PGA Tour event this week, from one massive event to another. Myrtle Beach Classic, brilliantly named tournament. The Dunes Golf and Beach Club. I mean, this sounds exciting, Steve.
It looks lovely.
Yeah,
it looks a lovely place to hang out. Yeah, the Dunes Golf and Beach Club, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 7,347 yards, par 71, 3 par 5s. A PGA Tour debut. We saw it on the Champions Tour, though, for their Tour Championship from 1994 through 1999. It's a largely tree-lined track with loads of water hazards. The fairways look generous to me. I've been studying the flyover. The greens are all wide. I think it's made for an attacking powerhouse to rip it apart. We've got a field of 1-3-2 going to post. Breezy and thundery for the first 2 days, but then we've got a sunny, calm weekend.
Okay, let's take a look at the top of the market then with AK Bets. Bo Hostler, 28 to 1, alongside a few others here. Ben Griffin, Daniel Berger, and Eric Van Rooyen. Davis Thompson, 30 to 1. Andrew Novak, 35s, alongside Matt Wallace. He's having a good few weeks, actually. Roy Hisasuna. There you go. That's cleared that up. Bigger prices the rest. This is a wide open event, Steve.
It's an exciting event. Yeah, I'm much looking forward to this. I wish it was on the television. I mean, yeah, the stick community are probably coming to their own this week. You know, all the illegal stick wilders.
That's not those sort of with a limp. That's another form of stick we're talking about.
It's bound to be on somewhere on the stick. I mean, I've got friends who give me all sorts of abuse for paying fortunes to Sky when they're waving their silly sticks about. But yeah, saying I'm watching this, I'm watching that. Yeah, the most obscure darts tournament in the world. Oh yeah, I've got it on my stick. So I'm just venting about my lack of stick.
Always be concerned about those friends waving their sticks about in public. How many selections for this one? Good. We don't want to wait. How is Coco? Quick Coco check-in.
Yeah, totally asleep. Brilliant. Yeah, fast asleep. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't do a low key 4 there for Coco. That was just for the throat. Yeah,
that was for you. Yeah.
Do it in the style of a dying.
Sometimes don't they say that dogs like sort of classical music to calm them down. Maybe it's your dulcet tones in your kind of new, calm, serene voice that you're displaying over the last couple of weeks. Maybe that's what she needs.
Maybe, yeah. We could play classical music while Sweet Spot's going on. Can we? Would that annoy viewers? Let us know in the comment, or let commenters decide on that. Do you want classical music in the background while we're doing this? Some people might go for that.
4 picks. Who's the main one?
Eric Van Rooyen, 28 to 1 with AK Bets. I fancy he'll fall in love with this week's assignment. Probably the most similar course to Myrtle Beach that we've had on the PGA Tour before is Congaree, which hosted the one-off 2021 Palmetto Championship. That was a long par 71 in South Carolina, staged in June, and Van Rooyen finished 10th in that event. And it came after he had missed 4 consecutive cuts on the PGA Tour. So he was in dismal form, fell in love with Congaree. I think it could be similar this week. He's also finished 10th in the RBC Heritage, another event in South Carolina, and more confident than ever at the age of 34. He's won twice on the PGA Tour now. He won by the beach in the Worldwide Technology Championship last year. I think he might win by the beach this week. He loves coastal tracks. He says how much he loves links golf. This is not links golf, but he loves playing by the coast. He finished second in the Cognizant Classic in March. He was 33rd last time out in the Heritage. Doesn't sound much, but remember, it's a designated elevated signature event. He's a massive runner in a weak field this week.
Okay, Eric Van Rooyen, 28-1, 3 to go. Who's up next?
Davis Thompson is your next best, 30-1 with AK bets. Ultra comfortable in this part of the world. Georgia man, loves the deep south. This could be the location for a maiden PGA Tour title. He was always destined for the top. Former world #1 amateur. He won on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2022. He's threatened on the PGA Tour ever since. He's been in rock solid form this season. Just needs to step up a gear. I think this grade, this location is made for Thompson. He's one of the best players in a really poor lineup. The course looks ideal for him. His Corn Ferry Tour title came in North Carolina. I think his first PGA Tour title may come in South Carolina on Sunday.
Would you say this is what, sort of like a DP World Tour sort of level field, or slightly stronger than that? Slightly
stronger than that, I'd say. Yeah. Has attracted a few members of the world's top 100. Eric Van Rooyen is the second highest ranked player in the field, behind a massively out of sorts Ryan Fox.
Yeah, I saw Ryan Fox on this. We've got Bobby McIntyre, Sammy Valimaki. No. Yeah. Okay, who's up next?
Adrien Dumont de Chassier. 125-1 with AK bets, an absolutely enormous price. Yeah, this is the best value option in the field for me. A Florida-based 24-year-old Belgian, bursting with power and potential. He won on the Corn Ferry Tour last June. That victory came in South Carolina. He found the Corn Ferry Tour an absolute doddle. Quick fire promotion for him. I think he's about to take off on the PGA Tour. 6th place in the Puerto Rico Open in March was encouraging. There's been plenty to like about his last 3 appearances. 23rd in the Corrales Punta Cana. Missed the cut by a shot alongside Jimmy Stanger in the Zurich Classic. Not a great partner, of course, and really difficult to make the cut in that tournament. Only 33 make the cut. And then 30th place in the Byron Nelson last week. 4 rounds in the 60s. Dumont de Chassier. Yeah, he seemed likely to make an impact on the PGA Tour. He looks really, really talented, this fella. He's going to take off soon. It could happen this week.
You say bursting with power and potential. I mean, that's what everyone wants to be described as, really. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Power and potential. What a brilliant combo that is.
Yeah. I don't know whether I've ever had power and
bursting with potential.
I don't know. My son said something to me last night, which I found so heartwarming. At the dinner table, he goes, "I think you should go on Gladiators, Dad, because you got good strength."
Oh,
and I was just like, he has absolutely no idea that I can hardly walk on most days. I have aches and pains, and until I take it, I get 150 pills. And he genuinely thinks I'm strong enough to go on Gladiators. It's great.
Well, you're tall, aren't you? You've got a gladiator build.
Yeah.
What would your name be? Because they've all got like legend and sort of warrior, haven't they? What would yours be?
Ludwig. I wanted to call the dog Ludwig, but yeah, if I go on Gladiators, which would be the most pathetic performance in the history of the show, I'll go on as Ludwig.
What was your response? Did you kind of keep your dream alive, or just shut it down?
At first, I was thinking, "Are you taking the piss, mate? Are you mocking me here?" But then I realised he's 4 years old. It's actually come from a genuine place, because obviously he's still marginally stronger than him. he thinks I'm powerful enough to do that. But yeah, power and potential is certainly not something I've got at the moment.
Oh, brilliant. Well, Steve Palmer on Gladiators, watch this space. 4th and final selection for the Myrtle Beach.
Nico Echeverria, 80-1 with AK bets, who won his maiden PGA Tour title in Puerto Rico last year. Swashbuckling 29-year-old Colombian, great putter, prone to super low rounds. And I've seen a lot I like from him in the last few weeks. He was 14th in the Corrales Punta Cana. He was 4th in the Zurich Classic pairs event alongside Max Grazerman. So an amazing effort to finish 4th in the Zurich Classic with Max Grazerman. Then 24th in the Byron Nelson last week, rounds of 67, 68, 67, 67. I think Echeverria is a massive runner in a low grade this week. Really happy with my 4.
Did you find it an exciting proposition, this one? Because when you see that, incredibly competitive at the top of the field, sometimes that's a bit overwhelming. But you've taken the other option here and gone, actually, I'm embracing this.
Yeah. No, I am really excited by these four. I think they're all four of them are great bets. Fully expect them all to contend. Just devastated it's not on the telly. I may have to go and find one of these friends with a big stick and go around there and watch it with them.
And watch Gladiator reruns. There we go. That's the Myrtle Beach. We've also got a seniors event we're going to be previewing, Steve, aren't we? I always like these ones because you just see some names on there and it allows you to get a little bit nostalgic. And I think we all deserve a bit of nostalgia in our lives.
We ruddy well do. And we will always preview Champions Tour majors on here. We will always preview LPGA Tour majors on here. Okay, so it's very rare that we get a 2-tournament week these days. With the live schedule, the ladies majors, the seniors majors, it's just all go, and we have to embrace that.
And I enjoyed it, Steve, because you were onto Mr. AK very quickly, going, look, we need the prices and we need them immediately for this one. Yeah. And I think he said he's on holiday, but still managed to get it sorted. So
he reacted well. Yeah, he reacted well. He mobilised the troops, and we have a show for the region's tradition.
Talk us through the track. We're going to be watching this one out this week.
The Founders Course, Greystone Golf Club, Birmingham, Alabama. It's hosted this tournament since 2016. There was no tournament in 2020 due to COVID-19. It's 7,249 yards, par 72, 5 par 5s, 5 par 3s, breezy and thundery on day one, sunny and calm from Friday onwards. We've got a field of 78 going to post, and there's no cut.
5 par 3s, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. There's only 8 par 4s.
Wow. Okay, let's take a look at the top of the market with AK Bet. Steve Stricker, 4-1. He's your favourite. Stephen Alker, 13-2. My favourite, Padre Harrington, 7-1. Stuart Sink, 9s. Miguel Angel Jimenez, 16s. Jerry Kelly, 18-1. Ernie Els, 20s. Bigger the rest. How many for this?
1.
Just a 1. Who's it going to be?
Steve Stricker, 4-1. Is a hugely generous price. I was delighted when I saw the prices go up. I assumed that Stricker would be completely unbackable for the working man, but 4-1 is full of juice. His record at this course is ridiculous. Let's mention quickly, punters who like playing doubles and trebles. This week is very exciting for us. Stick Stricker in your doubles and trebles, and you won't be disappointed. I mean, one of our regular commentors is a huge Steve Stricker fan, Scott Wheeler. He's always backing him. I mean, Scott Wheeler will probably be having a wheelbarrow full of readies on Stricker this week. Stricker's his hero, and I can see why. I mean, he just won virtually everything last year, and he's just about to warm the engines for this year. I mean, what's the right price about Stricker this week? I don't think it is 4-1. I think it's much shorter than 4-1 because a lot of his rivals are in poor nick. And he is looking to build on this amazing Greystone record. Let me just take you through it now. Stricker was second in 2018. He won by 6 shots in 2019. There was no event in 2020. He lost a playoff in 2021. He won by 6 shots again in 2022. He won by 6 shots last year. So form figures of 2-1, 2-1-1, and a streak which has included 3 6-shot victories.
Wow.
I wouldn't want to lay odds against about Steve Stricker this week. He's only got 77 to beat. And
he's a good nick. He's healthy.
He's 57 years of age. He keeps himself in tremendous nick. He's got daughters who are budding professional golfers. Stays very active. He played in the Zurich Classic with Matt Kuchar the other day. Narrow miscut. Steve Stricker's in great nick. He's not one of the this is known as the round belly circuit, isn't it? Steve Stricker's never had a round belly. He's probably still got a 6-pack. I've not inspected that. My research has not gone that far. I've not inspected Steve Stricker's midriff. But
there are certain people, Steve, aren't there, where you just assume they're much younger than they are. Do you watch that Clarkson's Farm? Have you watched that? Jeremy Clarkson's got a farm.
Yeah.
But I'm
sure.
not inferring that Jeremy Clarkson looks far younger than he is. But there's a guy on there called Gerald, who's a bit. He doesn't speak very well, but he basically makes walls, like old-fashioned sort of dry stone walls. And he's 74, and he's still like working the land. I mean, my knees and shins are shot, and I'm 26. How do you do it?
Well, it's just how you live your life. There's a huge contrast on the round belly circuit. I mean, you have got some players that are really, really massive. I mean, Darren Clark obviously lives the high life. He likes to get stuck into a hearty dinner every night. And but Steve Stricker is the complete opposite. He's wafer thin. I have no concerns about Steve Stricker's health. I just think 4-1 is it's just golden, isn't it? Because it's very hard to find rivals for him. Harrington's gone off the boil. I mean, I know we all love Harrington, but this year he's been unimpressive.
I mean, he just loves golf, though, Paddy, doesn't he? I mean, he's constantly practicing, he's constantly tweaking. The only thing I don't particularly like about Harrington over the last few years is he's chasing speed, and I'm like, oh, why is everyone going after distance? It's just so tiring.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've been on pod before in this. He has finished runner-up in this. Steve Alker's probably the main danger, as reflected by the prices. Steve Alker plays this course well and is in decent nick. But I think 4-1 is a surprisingly generous price about Steve Stricker. And then when we get on to our multiples, when you stick him in multiples, I mean, it's lovely. When Ludwig Aubert pulled out of the Wells Fargo, Ludwig Aubert was going to be the main danger to McIlroy. Ludwig Aubert's gone. McIlroy becomes an even. McIlroy only shortened a point. He was 8-1 before Ludwig pulled out, and then he generally 7-1. I think when your main danger comes out, so to cut a long story short, our treble this week: Rory McIlroy, Eric Van Rooyen, and Steve Stricker, an each way treble on that. It's over 1,000-1. Are
you playing the doubles as well?
Massive opportunity. I have had a McIlroy Van Rooyen double as well, but it's the each way treble which excites me most, because I struggle to see Stricker finishing outside the top 5. 1,000-1. It could be our passport to freedom, Jack. I don't know how you're feeling about passports to freedom, but this is potentially it.
Well, I think if I had a sort of passport to freedom, my body would start to reflect more of Darren Clark than Steve Stricker after a few years, I suspect. I don't think it'd be good for
that. Yeah, I think it would do me the world of good. Yeah,
do you think?
I just don't have. I know people say, "Oh, you make time." I hear this from my wife in particular. You make time for exercise and that. But I would just think, if I had unlimited time, I would exercise and I would get all these aches and pains sorted, and I'd spend a day a week, just a full 24 hours in the spa.
Okay. Was that Coco?
Yeah, that was Coco.
Oh, has she woken up?
Yeah, she has woken up.
Well, that's great timing, because we finished our previews. Is she okay?
Pretty good time. Yeah, just demanding to leave the premises.
Oh, okay.
Come here, then you can say, you've done well there.
Well, this is a lovely ending, because I was about to ask. Oh, there she is. Look.
Means I can turn the heating off a little bit now. I only had the heating up to sort of zonk her out.
She's grown a bit.
Yeah. They do. They shoot up.
That's brilliant. Well, for those listening on audio, please do head over to our YouTube channel. This is a good plug, and see Coco. I mean, she looks excited about the treble as well.
I'm excited about the treble. This could be a really good week. The only thing is that Thursday weather. All the tournaments, there's a little bit of Thursday weather in all of them, and we just need to get through that. If we can get through that Thursday unscathed, tee times could be a factor. From there, I'm hugely confident we're going to do the business.
Well, it was Wednesday and Thursday last week, wasn't it, that got us off to a bad start. So let's get through to the weekend with everything in order, and then we can start to get excited. There we go. Let's recap the selections for this week, starting in the Wells Fargo, Steve Palmer.
Rory, Daniel McIlroy, and John Maxwell Homer.
The Myrtle Beach Classic. I'm hoping you know all the middle names of the players.
No, I didn't bother checking the others, but I just find it interesting that Max Homer is called John Maxwell Homer. If you wrote John Homer on your betting slip, it might cause a bit of confusion. Don't do that, but his real name is John. Myrtle Beach Classic, Eric Van Rooyen, Davis Thompson, Adrien Dumont de Chassier. Probably got the best name in golf, and Nico Echeverria.
We shouldn't be worried about people getting Max Homer. Worried. Let's hope that producer Sal's put that name up on screen, because anyone walking into their local betting shops scribbling that on the.
Well, that's it.
The
pens never work. You're absolutely right. Betting shop punters. Every betting shop punter knows about 50% of the pens work. So,
yeah. Well, I had it the other week. I usually I haven't been in a betting shop for ages, but I was at Yarmouth Races the other week, and they've got like a little. I won't name the bookmaker, but a little slot there. I haven't written on a bet slip for ages, and your handwriting, I've not got the worst handwriting, but it's just suddenly turned into a doctor, don't you? You're scrawling over. It's just an absolute mess.
Nobody writes anything these days, do they?
No.
I mean, the youth of today probably don't even know how to write because they don't have to. It's just all done on the.
Well, I had an issue the other day, Steve, where I've developed this horrible trait where I only write in capital letters. I don't know where it started, and I tried to do it. I tried to do a little F the other day. I couldn't remember what it looked like. I had to do a bit of practice. It was like sort of going back to first school. It was so embarrassing.
Well, I tell you what, I'll email producer to make sure we get that name in there. But Adrien Dumont de Chassier,
and just the one in the Regent's tradition.
Stephen Stricker.
There we go. What's the rest of the week got in store for you, Steve? Recovery, R&R.
Yeah, I'm just desperate to get healthy again, and then follow this each way treble with great interest. I feel like this could be our passport to freedom, Jack. But I have felt like that in the past.
No other sport to get us down. You know, we always dabble, don't we, in snooker and darts and all that rubbish. And actually, it's the golf that brings us joy.
Yeah. I mean, the European Championship's creeping up, isn't it?
I mean, that's not going to bring us joy.
Well, I don't know. You're downbeat on England's chances. Yeah, I've just got a horrible feeling Harry Kane's going to get injured in the Champions League semi-final, which would really dent my confidence. We need Harry Kane to. Hopefully Bayern Munich get knocked out and then Harry Kane won't have much action left. Will he have any action left? Maybe he won't have any action left. We'll come on to the Euros, but don't let anything get you down.
No,
Jackie,
absolutely not.
Jackie.
There we go.
You, Jackie.
Why not? Big call, far worse. We've got a watch along next week. Oh, that's crept up, hasn't it? We've got the Euros. We've got a major next week.
We've got a major next week.
We'll be fit for that then.
We'll be fit for that. We'll be fit for that, and we'll be rich for that.
Okay, we've got the Tuesday show. We've got a watch along next week. A reminder that the sponsor AK Bets are offering a brilliant new offer for Sweet Spot viewers. That's if you place your first bet on a golf tournament and your player misses the cut, you get 50% of your stake back as a free bet. Please do gamble responsibly. Only ever gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Steve and I, plus guests, will be back next week. But until then, stay safe and enjoy the golf. Bye, everyone.